Have you gotten lots of people sliding into your DMs? Is that happening?
Yep.
Oh,
okay.
My.
I got to hang out with Bill then.
I'm having the time of my life.
That's what counts.
I never knew it could be this fun so late in life.
Oh
And
my.
he said he was sleeping all weekend.
Hey everyone, can you see these crazy balloons? They stand for 1 million, and we just hit 1 million on Instagram. So we really want to thank you. And hey, we've about got a wonderful podcast going here with the old gays. And if you really love it, please remember to subscribe.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Retirement House Podcast.
You're in for a special treat this week. Instead of one guest, we have 5.
That's because your favorite grandfluencers have all joined together, and it's about time that seniors get the spotlight.
So without any further ado, help me welcome the old gays.
All right. Robert, Jesse, Mike, Mick, Bill, and Jock. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Real good to be here.
It is.
Thank you
sure
for
about that?
Yes, it's a family reunion.
We're happy to be here.
Great. Thank you. Well, so let's get this question out of the way because I'm sure you've answered it much more than we have. But how did you all meet and form this legendary group? The short answer.
Yeah,
I'll start, and I will try my best to be brief. I used to rent rooms. Mick answered to that. He moved into my house in 2013, and then I knew Bill from San Francisco. We reconnected in 2003. Jesse, do you want to take it over from there?
Why don't I take it over from here? It's my fellow Southerner. Then I moved in next door across from Mick and Robert in 2014. And my BFF, Jock, has just joined us and has been helping us out because Robert has been ill, and it's good to have him back on. This is his first day back with us.
Yes,
Thrilling to have you back.
Yes.
And
Now, Jock, do you live in the neighborhood?
I live about 2 miles from them in Rancho Mirage.
Oh, okay.
There is a lot of connection here through Jesse, but I was fortunate enough to go with them to the cruise in Barcelona because Robert wasn't feeling well at the time, and it was an experience that I'll always cherish because these guys are fun to be with. They all have their own personalities, but it sticks with you. There's something about friendships that starts and builds, and next thing you know, it's 40 years later.
What were your careers before you became social media giants?
Well, I was born and raised in a restaurant family. Then in high school, I got a job in a men's store, and I stayed in the menswear business for 12 years. Then I opened up an antique importing shop for interior designers in San Francisco and did that for 20 years, was also an interior designer. And then a friend of mine wanted me to take over the job of dealing with apartment managers. And he had 4 apartment buildings and 200 units in San Francisco. So I was the go-between between them and the tenants. And then after that, I was a facilities manager for a socially responsible long-distance company where I was in charge of the mail room, I was in charge of reception, and I had to make sure we had 12 dozen bagels and schmears at 7 a.m. every Friday morning.
Man, that's my own heart. Bagels. We love bagels. We get bagels.
So they sent me to telephone school, and I was in charge of the telephone switch, and it was a huge, huge job.
And why did you retire?
Well, Do you pay any long distance fees anymore?
I used to be a long distance operator, so I understand your pain.
Yes, and I've been a singer musician since the age of 2. but
I knew that. You had that singer musician
Vibe.
going on.
Yeah.
Ask him to sing a song.
No. We're in a new career now. And my last job was a florist out there before Old Gays took over.
And take over they did.
Was trained as an architect and spent 20 years as a city planner, 10 of those in St. Louis and 10 in San Francisco, and then decided in 1990 to retire to the desert, moved to the Palm Springs area, and launched a career as a sculptor, and was in a lot of galleries throughout California, and they're in the desert. Now I'm doing a different art.
Well, you really have a variety of past experiences. It's amazing that you all got together with this like that.
But I was already retired when this stuff started. So I was very happily just doing my thing in the desert.
Okay.
Now you're happily unretired.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I'm a psychologist by profession, and my specialty is in addictive personality disorders.
Can we talk?
Came to the right place.
You're in the right place. You're in the right place.
I hope that's helpful for everybody.
I'm a certified gambler, gambling, sex,
Certified?
and drug and alcohol.
Oh, okay.
What's funny is I have a proclivity for all those addictions.
Well, those
So
are
at
the
least-
best helpers
Of course.
to know what you've been through.
So how did you come about joining up with this crew?
I got a call and they said, "Would you like to be a part of the Old Gays because someone is unable to work right now?" I said, "I'd be more than happy to. Whatever you guys need."
And he bought new luggage.
Yay!
Well, he heard about your your travels.
So that one call, I again enjoyed the camaraderie, and I was amazed that I thought I had settled in my life and I have enough friends and I was pretty comfortable in my retirement. But this is another facet that I'm just, I won't say overwhelmed, but really surprising. And I'm enjoying every minute of it and look
As
forward.
a grandfluencer, you ain't seen nothing yet.
I'm anticipating every moment of this occasion, and I'm thankful for it very much.
Well, people ask us all the time, did you know anything about TikTok or the internet or Instagram? And most of us say, kind of, sort of. What about you guys? Did you know anything about this before you got involved?
Kind of, sort of.
Does dating apps qualify?
Oh, Mabel.
I should have known. I should have known.
So you were under the weather, so to speak, for a while there. And what was that like, and how are you doing now?
Well, I'm doing great now. I'm definitely on the rebound, but I happened to get a urinary tract infection that I did not address quick enough, and it entered my bloodstream. And so I was in the hospital for 2.5 days on 6 different drips of I don't know what, which was actually the hospital was, for a hospital, a really wonderful experience because everyone there at Eisenhower, they are so good, so professional. But most of all, my friends, my family, and my fans. When I got out, I would read the comments that people were giving, and I'd just cry. So, anyway.
You
No,
know,
that's
I felt
wonderful.
that way at a birthday time when somebody put on TikTok, I suppose, that it was my birthday, and 1,500 people said, "Happy birthday," and I cried. I said, who would ever have guessed in that little audition, 2 years ago now, that we would be able to reach that many people with joy?
And they reach back to us.
And they reach
Yeah,
back.
they sure do.
Yeah.
And
Do
you
you
can
get-
tell it's heartfelt.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's the vast majority. I'm sure we have a lot of that in common as far as the business we're both in. Finding the comments and going into them, it's just amazing. And I know you've gotten the same ones we have in some cases as far as we're not scared to get old anymore. That level of sharing coming back from people, you have no idea who they are. And you weren't when you were doing your shtick on TikTok and whatnot. And then you turn around and you see what a comment is to something you're doing. And yeah, it kind of melts you for a little bit there. You know,
And a
takes you
lot of
back.
them want to be adopted by
Yes.
us as their grandpas or
Right.
their uncles.
Well, when we
Absolutely.
retire, we can do that.
Gunkles.
Dunkles.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
We were lucky enough to share the New York Times article with you. Did you ever dream of this kind of success?
From Greenville, Tennessee. I don't even think I'd get here to California. The whole world just continually amazes me.
What's the most memorable?
For me, the most memorable was going to all these foreign countries and ports and everything and have people recognize us. We made reservations at a restaurant, and the owner welcomed us with big arms and offered us cordials and all that because he knew who we were. And this was in Italy.
My thing is walking around town. I'm the social bunny. I just live off of hugs. And so when anybody recognizes me, I go, "You got to come in, baby. You gotta come in for the hug." It's just so yummy. Yes, yummy.
My most memorable experience was we were in Las Vegas about this time last year for the Las Vegas Pride celebration, and we came back from seeing a show elsewhere into our hotel, and there were just these groups of girls, teenage and young 20s, that would scream at us as we were walking through and want selfies with us and all of that. And then there was this one very tall, slinky woman who came up to me and planted a kiss on my lips and said, "You're my favorite."
And she was gorgeous. Slinky doesn't describe her. I mean, she had this gorgeous dress with spaghetti straps, and she was almost as tall as Robert. And she just went in and planted a big one.
Actually, she was taller and she was drunk.
Oh, that killed it. That was
I don't want to be a killjoy, but this was a touching moment for me. About a month ago, we went to the Shania Twain concert. And then when we walked inside the plane, here was this tall supervisor flight attendant who went like this when he saw Jesse, started to cry. Jesse went there and hugged her, and she started to tell her story, how she lost her son, her two sons,
So
two
many.
sons,
I was
and
probably crying.
3 deaths in the family in
Oh, my
less than a
goodness.
month. And she said, "You know what got me through? The old gays."
Oh,
That really
Yeah.
touched my heart.
Isn't it wonderful to be so loved and accepted? And when you were young and growing up, it was just the opposite. And look at you guys now and the world and how they've come around and accepted this way of life.
That's what it takes, constant exposure of the goodness.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's still a struggle, though, but
Sure.
I think we're gaining what we need to gain.
I definitely agree with you. People just don't look at gays the same way they did 60 years ago. And I think the other thing is when you get older, I don't really care what other people think so poorly of. It's what's important to you.
It's freeing, isn't it?
Yes.
I love
Yes.
being older.
Yeah, who knew that was going to
Really
come
do.
with old age?
Yes.
And I used to hear all these sad stories about how people would have people writing nasty comments on their pages and saying horrible things. We don't get any of that.
It's okay to get a few. It balances you out.
Yeah.
But what keeps us humble.
But
Yeah.
just a
You're humble?
teensy-weensy.
Oh.
A teensy-weensy bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about when you were younger, because there was a very grave difficulty for so many years about admitting that you were gay. And now it's the selling point. How do you feel about that? What do you want to say to young people who are struggling with the idea of how to tell their parents that they're gay?
I'll start. I came out to my parents when I was 24 years old. So, and I got a lot of support particularly from my father. When I moved to California, I lived here in Los Angeles for 35 years. My ex threw a party for my parents because they flew out here to see what I was doing. It was a very nice party. There were a lot of celebrities there, people that Joel worked with. My father, just before the party, had gone out to the store and bought a bottle of single malt scotch. And he invited Joel, who was my ex, to the kitchen, and he poured him a toast. And he thanked Joel, my ex, and said that he was very proud and very grateful that I had met someone like him. And my father was a grizzled old World War II veteran. And so that meant a lot to me.
Yeah, I bet it did. Yeah.
That's really wonderful to have a parent like that that's so accepting.
Yeah, they were good parents. I moved out here really to have my own life. I'm from the Midwest, and it's cold there. And, I very much like the Southern California lifestyle, and so that's why I moved out here. And I was very lucky to meet a great bunch of people right at the start.
And I tell young people, just be you. There's really no ifs, ands, or buts, whether you want to come out or if you don't want to come out, just stay in. But just be you and be comfortable, and don't allow anybody to force you to come out, because especially people in small communities, man, they'll get burnt really bad. So you really have to be careful and use the brain.
Well, I have not actually attended a Pride celebration.
Girl.
So tell me about it. What have I been missing?
Fun. Go to West Hollywood. It'll be 6 hours.
I've been stuck in the traffic of Parade Day.
Yeah.
They're lots of fun. Yeah, just let yourself go with the crowd.
Yeah, just be a part of the scene.
Be free.
It's just a family affair. It's really.
All
that's what it's
right.
like. It's a family affair. Go. And you'll be just loved and hugged and say, come on.
Uh-huh.
I have two sons, and when they were teenagers, I met James Harmel, and he was involved in my company. At the time was the Springer. I was an exercise person, and I talked to him about coming out and being gay and whatnot. And then I took that training, the advocacy. Wasn't that the training that?
Oh, the advocate experience.
Yes. I took it because I didn't know whether my boys might be gay or not. And I wanted to absolutely be the best parent on earth in case they were. And so I took that 2-weekend training. It was a wonderful thing.
Are they gay?
No,
Okay.
they're not. But I wanted to be ready because I didn't want anything to ever come between us. We had a wonderful time when they were boys. And now we're still just as close as we can be.
Mick, you said you were the youngest. How old are you?
I'm 67.
Oh, real baby. I'm the baby in the group and going to be 72.
Oh, congratulations.
Who's the oldest in the group? How old are you? 80?
I just turned 70,
Yeah.
but it's like I still feel like a 16-year-old, but the body tells me I'm not.
My
So-
body hasn't mentioned
Oh,
one
mine
thing to me
does.
lately.
Ooh,
I'm
mine
doing
does.
3 hours of Pilates a week and
Wish I could.
rebounding, which I helped to create, and walking my Frenchie.
Were you active when you were younger?
Yes, I started dancing when I was 3. I danced all the way to about 33. I got a ballet scholarship to college. I danced in New York. Yeah, I've been moving. I've been moving.
It sounds like it.
No, we had done a brain scan with Brian Johnson.
Johnson, yeah.
Yes, he's got to test the brain, how old the brain is, age of the brain. And though I'm the youngest, I had the oldest brain at 56.4 years. The oldest had, what was the number of your brain?
39. And the wonderful thing was that people say to me, "How old do you feel?" And I always say, "Oh, I feel just about 40." Turns out my brain feels that way too.
I want to know, what do you guys do for fun? I mean, we love doing our show. We have lots of fun. But what do you guys do for fun? And do you do it together? Oh, that was just a okay.
We don't do
Okay.
it together. We used to, but we see each other so much
Yeah.
more that we like to go our own different
Yeah.
ways.
New faces and places. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
well,
say, you look like you're hiding something.
Yeah, what do you do, Jake? What do you
you
do?
said your face gets you in a lot of problems.
I'm more sociable, so I go out. Cruise we just got off of. I was up till 3 and 4 every morning, just dancing because I don't get a chance to do it, and it felt good, and I'm paying for it this week.
Ah.
Like, ow. I still was my head spinning. I'm sleepy. I'm still singing. I'm in the Gayman's chorus, so and I joined that so that I would have a social outlet. So I just love life. I love being around people. I don't like being by myself.
The book. Yes, I'm very excited about the book, and I'll bet you are too. That's a wonderful publisher. Tell us how you did it.
They came to us.
Yay!
Yay! That's the best.
That's
The
the
old
best.
gay's guide to the good life.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun in process. We worked with a wonderful author. It was a good experience. And
How long did it take?
oh, we started last spring, the process, and it took place throughout as we got into the summer, we were reviewing drafts and honing in on details and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Is it mostly about the Palm Springs area, or
It's really about our stories. There's a lot of recollections on our part and how we deal with certain things that happened during our lifetimes. It's going to be released on November the 28th of this year, just in time for Christmas.
Yay.
But if you go to our profiles, you'll see a link down below, and you can pre-order the book now. Check out the link down below to HarperCollins, who's our publisher. And we had a really great time. And we had a wonderful writer named Dibs Bear who really put the book together. And she just let us all just open up.
Are you going to be going on national book tours and signing books and doing all that fun stuff?
yeah?
We're starting now to set up publicity dates, and I suspect there'll be a trip to New York, and
Oh, yeah,
we'll
there is.
make appearances on several of the shows.
Yeah, I think we're confirmed for the week of the 27th. I don't know what date for on the Today Show.
Oh, great!
Yay!
All right.
That's great.
Yeah.
Our second time.
Yes, that is.
Excuse me.
Well, I bared my soul for the book. I told them about my problems with alcoholism, mental illness, and everything. So, I mean, it goes deep into a lot of our lives.
And I opened up about do stuff. I'm very private, but this girl sucked it out of me, you know, and it felt good.
Yeah,
It really did.
It's pretty raw, and some places probably even brutal. I think there will be some shocking moments for some people and maybe reinforcing for others.
Yeah, wait till you get a load of the inserts.
Ah.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. In answer to your question, yes.
Is it true you have a docuseries?
We've got a director and a producer who are really two very cool guys. They're looking at doing something.
Okay, no, that's
Very good.
that's great.
That's about all I can say.
Okay.
Who wants to tell me what you would tell your younger self, if you had the chance right now?
That's a very good question.
Thank you.
I would tell myself to do it the same because I wouldn't be me where I am in this
Sure.
family right here if I hadn't been who I was.
Exactly.
But I don't want to go through it again.
I hear
Once
that.
is more than
Yeah.
enough.
Well, growing up must have been really difficult for all of you.
To be honest with you, I'm still telling myself to come out. I ended up late in life coming out 37, and I didn't have a lover till I was 57. And when I met this gentleman, I felt I lost out half of my life because I didn't have kids. I love children. And he already had 2 kids that he raised, and he had 4 grandkids. And he said, I don't want to start over again. So I let that go, but he's not out to his family till this day. And neither side talks about it. We get into family gatherings, and he's still in the closet. Now it's going to come out.
But
Well, you didn't mention any
did it.
names.
I think you did it there.
Oh, well.
There's no going back down that road.
Bang,
Well,
bang.
that's just my point. I'm walking on not really eggshells, but
Yeah.
I'm saying that when is this all going to be totally free? And you're asking, how do you tell the kids? I'm admiring the kids of today.
Mhm.
They're much more bolder and stronger. And I suppose they could say we paved the way for them because we had to sacrifice as well. I mean, living in the closet is detrimental to your health.
living in California, it's much easier. I was
Totally.
raised
definitely.
in Ohio, and what's acceptable here was not acceptable there. And I'm not sure it's all acceptable now there.
No, it's not
Yeah.
all over California either.
Yeah. Well, who thought 30 years ago that LGBTQ plus would even be a thing? And they're fighting about children's or students' rights, whether or not they can change their names in school and not worry about that,
A
them
waste
getting
of
beat up
time.
at home when they find
Can
out.
I add to that? Because we talk about gay and straight. That's the first 2. And then LGBTQ. Studies have shown now that there are so many, there's hundreds, identifying your sexuality or orientation that before they said, the population is 10% gay. Now it's going up to 25% because of all this other individuals
yeah,
that are
yeah.
transgender. Who knows what
Yeah.
else? There's hundreds
Yeah.
of us. So there's a whole big community out there now that we haven't even tapped. It's not just gay and straight now. It's a myriad of many different,
Sure.
identities, orientation. So we still got our work cut out, but it's a
doesn't
beautiful
stop.
journey.
And here we are still kicking and being part of it and finding out new words and new definitions.
Yes.
And can my body still move that way?
It can.
And the language is turning into acronyms.
Yes, yes.
Okay, Bill. I just slammed it right off the tee. So are you dating, having fun? What's life? What's going on?
Well, about 15 years ago, I lost my house in Palm Springs during the financial thing. And I went into senior affordable living. And I was absolutely celibate for at least 10 or 12 years. And then all of a sudden, joining this group, I found out that some people thought I was attractive. But I had stayed away from all the dating sites and that. But last week I jumped in, and oh my God, my life has changed forever. I think.
Well, details. What is?
Wait a minute. How long ago did you jump in?
Last week.
Last week.
1 week? Whoa.
Well,
Okay.
congratulations.
Thank you. I'm a new man.
And,
Yeah.
and not only
And
that,
not only that, the new man wants a new man.
well, with those blue eyes, sweetheart, I don't think you're going to have any problem at all.
No, that's not the problem.
Have you gotten lots of people sliding into your DMs? Is that happening?
Yep.
Oh,
Okay.
My.
I got to hang out with Bill then.
I'm having the time of my life.
That's what counts.
I never knew it could be this fun so late in life.
oh
And
my.
he said he was sleeping all weekend.
But he didn't say who he was sleeping with.
Or where?
Yeah,
He was just getting his second
that's why he was
wind.
always tired, huh?
That's why I'm in bed at 7.
Yeah.
And we don't hear from him at all
yeah.
after we break up because he's off doing his thing.
Okay. As long as you're not late for rehearsal, you know how
Yeah.
to get.
I see you blushing.
Yeah.
I still can.
I was going to say, who else has.
Just say loves everybody.
It's a nice thing to say about
And I'd
anybody.
blush, but you know, there's the impossibility.
Do you have any tea to spill, so to speak?
I don't have any tea.
Oh, yes, you do.
All right, everybody, just spill
What
the tea
about-
on Jesse.
Wait a minute. She asked me about my tea. My tea.
Oh
Now,
no,
what
and now
tea
I'm
do I
leaving
have?
it. Now I'm leaving it open to the group.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Linda.
Anyone have anything they want to say about what's going on in Jesse's
No,
life?
I-
Yeah,
see you.
ask him about Canada.
International. What's happening there?
Spill the beans.
I'm seeing someone from there, but they had to go back every 6 months.
But they keep coming back.
Well, yes.
Oh,
I'm
my.
gonna stop there.
Okay. That's good.
We'll leave you with your privacy. Hmm.
Yeah.
I tell all.
Okay, Robert.
I'm not seeing anyone at the present moment, and I've kind of pulled back sexually for a while, and I guess I'm trying to recharge, and I do have to admit that I have been a very big slut for a long part of my life.
Oh,
I wasn't expecting that.
that's a good one. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe we should start a new group. The old sluts.
Sluts are us.
Sluts are us. That's perfect.
Who's next?
Actually, no, I'm not seeing anybody. I felt that my commitment to this job and also the fact that I like to stay in shape means that, I'm not looking for anybody. I was with somebody for 25 years, and that took the better part of the middle of my life. And so I'm not, relationships are something that you have to work on every day. I don't want that anymore. So I'd rather have a shallow, 6'2", 250-pound muscle guy.
Okay, so we have
So
two
I
of
don't,
the.
and that's really my thing. And so I'm open for that. But everything else, I'm just a very shallow person.
I was going to say we have two old gays that are sluts. That's what I'm getting from.
Oh, anyway.
I'm not. No. I'm not a slut.
No.
Just say.
He's
Is
just
a slut.
That's true.
Oh, if I could just be a fly on the wall when those guys go back home. Those guys go back.
Praise me, I know who I am.
He
I
was
wasn't a
just
slut.
dancing and having a good
Oh,
time,
thank
right?
you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
3 can have as much fun as 2.
Oh.
I did come out late in life, and I didn't have a lover for 30 years until I met my partner. And I'm going to have to share with you that I am
Excuse me?
living the greatest years of my life. And I don't want it to end, but I know I'm old, and I think of when is this going to end, you know? But I'm just
Jesse is looking like, who is this man?
I am having the greatest time of my life, and I'm
He's
the
saying this is
luckiest
the
person.
First one, and this isn't the first one. It's the second one.
Oh, that one didn't count. 18 months?
Oh, was it that short?
Oh.
See,
That was
we
a
know
long
each other
time.
very well, but I'll never tell. So there's hope, guys. Don't ever give up, Bill. You just never know when love comes your way. Welcome it.
And I welcome it with open arms. I do.
What kind of advice can you give us about relationships if you want one? And I understand not wanting one.
I'm all about relationships. It takes a lot of work. I love being in a relationship. I really do. I am never a first mover. You have to come to me. I'm about giving a lot, but I'm learning that I now want to receive more. It takes more giving on both sides, really, than you think. It does take a lot of work, but I love the work. I just think it's the best thing in the world. But I'm happy where I am right now, in between the slut.
Have you been to Canada lately?
Make sure your passport's up to date. Just-
Y'all are bad.
Yeah,
Y'all
we
are
are.
bad.
Yes.
Yes, no, I haven't been to Canada lately, but Canada will be home soon.
All right.
Ah, good.
Well, I've had 2 long-term relationships, and the first one was for 5 years, and the second one was for 16 years, and the last year of that was so bad that I don't want relationships. I just want to get out there and be with the people.
You just want to be a slut like the
Yeah.
rest of them.
Yeah.
See,
And
I
you're-
don't
Sounds
slut
good.
at home. I don't play in the valley.
Oh,
Okay, okay.
Did
so
you say
y'all
the
don't know
valley?
all you think you know about Jesse.
Oh, in the Coachella Valley. Okay, yeah.
Mick, it seems to me that you might have had the deepest and the most serious relationship out of everyone on that sofa.
Probably.
And that's why you're not ready to jump back in the pot.
Moving to California was the best thing that could happen to me. I don't regret any of that. But I had a lot of opportunities, and some of them I took, and some of them I didn't. And I'm at that point in my life when I can look back and say, you know, if I had stayed with this guy, what would have happened? You know, and you kind of play that game. Because, you know, when you went with this guy and stayed with him, you knew what happened. The best part of our relationship was, I think, was when we traveled together. The best part of a relationship sometimes is a good row. You know, when you get things out and you have the luxury of pulling yourselves back together and continuing it. You have projects together. Time does pass on, and people do diverge in ways. You know, when my parents were together for their whole marriage. They were for the most, really, for my mother's life after she met my dad. That really wasn't something that people did. People didn't have divorce. I'm divorced. Yeah, it is a lot of work, but at the time, sometimes it feels like it's absolutely weightless, like you're flying, and those are the best moments. And we all have those. Yeah, I couldn't say that my relationship was a failure.
No, it sounded like you had a lot of good things.
Oh,
out
we
of
had a
that.
lot of great times.
Yeah.
Well, I've had 2 relationships in my life. The the first guy I met while I was going to college, and that was about a 7-year relationship. It wasn't intensely sexual, more a cerebral kind of a relationship. Then I kind of flowed into my second relationship. It seemed very natural. My partner at the time also kind of flowed into another relationship with someone he knew, and so there was no trauma there. And my second relationship was about the same, about 7 years, and it started off intensely sexual and was intensely sexual for a good 4 or 5 years, and then it turned, and that sexual attraction kind of became weapons that we were using against each other. And it was just, as Bill said, it was pure hell for about a year or so before I finally said, I have to get out of here. And that is when I moved from St. Louis to San Francisco. And I've never since had a live-in relationship. I've had boyfriends that I see frequently, but not a live-in relationship very deliberately.
So, what did you learn from that relationship, Robert?
Oh, I don't know if I learned anything.
I know what he learned. He learned how to have a really good time.
That is true. And it served me well later in life.
When you read the book, you'll find out.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to spill the tea here? Are you crazy? It's in print, baby.
And this book must have opened up lots of secrets to all of you about the rest of you.
Yes.
And one way or the other, at least you will be exposing things in this book.
Well, I'm not in the book.
Oh, you're not in
He's
the
a
book?
late bloomer.
I'm a late bloomer.
Oh.
But it must be okay.
But I
'cause you're-
did buy the book, and I'm waiting on
You'll be in
November
part
20th.
2.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, no, there will be a second book.
There's more to tell.
Yeah,
Yeah,
about everything that really, really happened.
So it's going to be the Bill book. I gave all my stuff.
No, we get to do a behind the scenes kind of little journey.
Uh-huh.
Well, I will give you my business card before I leave, and you could personal one-on-one.
Make an appointment, right?
Oh, I could give you a hint. All my life, I thought I'd never find love. I'm from a family of 6 siblings. They all got married, had kids, and I was left behind. And I waited and waited and looked, and I had an unusual proclivity to being attracted to straight married men. So what does that tell you? It's impossible. Sick.
Tragic.
But it's so funny. I did end up with one who was married straight at one time. So, see, there's hope. So you're asking counseled people in divorces and everything and love, how do you find love? You just live. Enjoy your life and get out there and meet people, whether it's in clubs or church or community or what do you call that?
Discos.
Disco. Volunteering. I mean, you just never know as long as you're living. And I've always had this notion that love comes to you, finds you.
It does.
You got to be open and receptive, because you'll see a lot of love come your way, and you will have built-in conditionings that you've lived through your life saying, oh, doesn't have the right hair color. Oh, he doesn't have the right height. Oh, I remember when I was going through stuff like that, oh, his fingers were too narrow, or his butt was not shaped. I was putting all these barriers every step of the way, and we all have that because we have types. But please just keep an open mind, and you never know, because in the end you'll fall in love with someone you thought you weren't going to fall in love with. Next thing you know, you're 40 years celebrating happily ever after.
I've
My
always
advice.
thought that the first person that you need to fall in love with is yourself. And that if you fall deeply enough in love with yourself, that everything else takes care of itself.
Yeah, enjoy the pleasure of your own company.
Absolutely.
Now, John, I think it was you that said that you wanted children. Have any of you had children, or do any of you have children?
We ain't that crazy.
Huh?
We're not that crazy.
And never wanted a
Yes.
child.
I
Never had
did.
this.
Yeah, but at 70, ain't no way. It is, but people do it. They
Even
just
though
gotta have it.
70 is still young. Now, is there anything that you guys have still got left on your bucket list?
Not me.
I do. I just want to stop and take it the right way. I just want to be on cruises. I love cruises.
Oh, I love cruises.
It is so, they are so, I've done 4, and it just gets better and better, and I just want to do that.
Did you know that people do that?
Uh-huh.
They trade in their apartment and they just cruise all
Yeah.
over the place.
But they don't have big enough closets for me, honey.
Well, you got to get a big room.
Closet.
We would get along so well. Cruising,
We'll take 2
clothes,
rooms.
Are we
closets.
talking a closed horse here? Yes. Okay.
Just take over the whole ship.
That's it. No, not that's
Closet
too much.
space.
It's too much.
Does anyone else have any bucket lists?
I'd like to see Australia.
Oh,
Yeah, I've gotten as far south as Fiji, but not to Australia. And there's an event in Sydney called Mardi Gras. That's a lot of fun.
Pick yourself up and go.
Oh, we're waiting for the offer.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Smart. Well, yeah, let them take care of us, bring us down.
We did an interview for Good Day Australia a couple of months ago. We ended up getting preempted by the Prime Minister of Australia.
oh.
Oh,
They're going to
heck.
get their priorities straight.
Yeah.
Old gays, and then the prime minister can come.
No, it was the Prime Minister. Then it was 5 minutes with you, and then it was 2 minutes with the old guy.
Oh,
It was a live interview?
Yeah, it was live.
Oh.
Was.
Now it's in the can.
I've had such a full life. I can't imagine anything else I want to do.
The old gaze is one big old bucket for me.
well, I want to thank you for coming back after been working with us once. What advice would you give to the younger generation about growing up and getting older?
Don't grow up.
Oh, yes.
Seriously.
I
Peter
like
Pan.
that.
Absolutely.
It can be fun.
Live day to day.
Make the life you want yours.
That's why they're so good.
Very good.
Thank you again for your time. Thank you all for watching.
Thank you guys for coming.